You're good to go, mate.
Good evening. How are we all doing? Welcome to the FPL show. Just on the breaking news of West Ham have just scored. Sorry, they are playing Tottenham. So, yeah, welcome to the FPL show. I will get Hubert to tell you who scored that goal if that goal's been allowed. But we've got Matt back. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Yeah, looking forward to getting on the
Yeah,
show and talking some
like
FPL.
Jeff Stelling, me, and I
Well,
just need to get.
speaking of FPL, James Ward-Prowse scored that goal, so points for me. Thank you very much.
I've always liked James Ward-Prowse. What a guy. Um, I just need to learn to do what Jeff Stelling does, like just talk normal and then get really, really loud when a goal goes in. So yeah,
Love Jeff. What's not to love about him? Legend.
exactly. It's just a shame he's gone on Talk Spurs now, but sorry, Talk Sport. But I've heard some of the highlights and it's been not too bad. And on that note, you heard his dulcet tones in the background. Welcome back again, Hubert. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Good to be back rolling, rocking and rolling. Well, I'm still on guide dog training, but at least it's at home now, so I can actually get involved with a few more bits and pieces.
Cool. Good to hear. Before we move on, we'll quickly go over the results at the minute. So it's I feel like the bloke on TikTok who just wants to laugh. It's currently at the moment Tottenham 1. That's Big Ange, Tottenham 1, West Ham without Declan Rice 2. So that's a big, big result. But I think the biggest result of the evening has got to be Newcastle in the mud. I've heard they got stuck there by some toffees. It was Everton 3. Let me repeat that. Everton 3, Newcastle nil. But it's apparently because they got injuries, according to our resident Newcastle celebrity fan, Nicholas Pages. So not very happy because Brian Mbeumo's injured. He said he's got to get rid of Matty Cash and his team's just been humbled in Merseyside. So it's not a very good evening for him, is it, really? Um, so, yeah, move talking about FPL. I don't even know where to start. Um,
I was waiting for that big silence,
uh,
that big pause.
Mate, the last 2 weekends have been atrocious. I think I've hit 30 points this week, thanks to Palmer. Um, but still, that's not good enough. You know what I mean? We've had some people in our league who have been very, very lucky with players just returning, but I suppose it is what it is, isn't it? Really. Hubert, I'll come to you first. You said Prowse.
I do indeed, and that's the one thing that's actually worked for me, considering I've brought in Simicast, and he's not played at all, and played my bench boost for that very reason, which, yeah,
Ooh.
okay. So my bench boost is currently not really getting me anything brilliant, so, yeah.
Talking about people playing a chip, as they call it. Member of the WhatsApp group, Travis, played triple captain on Mo Salah.
Oh,
Um,
did he? All right.
yeah, you need therapy after that, wouldn't you? To be honest, like,
Yeah.
I, I'm actually I actually get frightened, and it sounds stupid. I get frightened to use my chips before Christmas. I don't even like using the wild card before Christmas, but obviously I only do that because you get another one. But the latest possible for me. Um,
It
I
gives you the
actually,
advantage, though, doesn't it? If you do it
I
later, it gives you that advantage.
think it's a lucky dip, mate. Like I'll
Yeah.
come to you quickly before we move on to other stuff, but triple captain's lucky dip in it. Really, I've done it 4 times. It's only come off for me twice.
Yeah. For me, I feel the
There
same
is
as what
that
you were
famous
saying.
triple captain for you, George, during the pandemic, which I think is probably the best triple captain I've seen, apart from someone triple captaining Sterling on the first game week of the season a few seasons ago, and he scored a hat trick. That's
Mikel Antonio. It's always got a place in my heart. Mikel. Maybe it's the name Mikel. Do you know what I mean? Like Mikel Antonio, Mikel Arteta, Miguel Leisure. Yeah, we're moving on. But that was a Wimbledon cult legend for those who didn't know. But yeah, triple captain is a bit of a dodgy one, isn't it, mate?
It is. It is. For me, I like to save it for a double game week. So, yeah. I'm hoping the double game week gets added for Man City. Then Haaland is obviously he'll have Sheffield
See,
United, he'll have Brentford.
what I think, I don't know if you guys agree. I think this season, if there's a differential, and what I mean a differential, not a Salah or Haaland that's on a double game week and they're appealing, I'd be so tempted to captain them because
Yeah,
everyone's a captain Salah and Haaland. We know that. So what my thinking is with this, I don't know if Arsenal have got someone like a double game week and they're two appealing fixtures, having Saka on a double game week as a captain could be quite a bit sneaky really. Like he's been slagged off by FPL people. Well, he don't shoot enough. He ain't done bad. I think he's like the highest. I've read this somewhere for goal involvement. He's in the top two in the whole of Europe, and he's the youngest person to get to 50 goal involvements in a calendar year. Like that,
he's a
that's
quality player though, isn't he? You just wouldn't have him out of your team.
but yeah. I did. He soon went back.
He hasn't been out of mine yet. He's not
No.
coming out either. He's always
Um,
going to score or get an assist, so he's going to get one or the other.
yeah, we'll talk about our teams because of how bad it's been. I'm assuming it's been bad for you too as well. I think it has for you,
Yeah,
Matt.
mine's in the mud. Yeah, I've got last
Bit
I
like,
saw was 33 points.
bit like Newcastle.
So, yep.
So so my team. This was my team. Dubravka, Trippier. You can see a bit of a theme already. Dubravka, Trippier, Gabriel, Saliba, Simicas, Salah, Diaby. That was my mistake. Saka and no, that was it. And then I had Darwin, Haaland, and Watkins. On paper, you'd think, oh yeah, it's a good side. No, don't work like that, does it? Arsenal go and win 4-3. Yeah, don't get me started on that game. I've just
Lucky,
about
lucky.
sign the champions, mate.
Yeah, he left that whistle blowing though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Should have been blown way before.
Yeah, they wasted time though, didn't they? Like
Yeah,
the goalkeeper. So like, and everyone says it's minimum of 6 minutes. So I think you have to play to the whistle. That's what I've always said that. But you compare the games like last week against Wolves, they played about 3 minutes over. So I don't know. We could go into it, but
mind you, I do remember the Bournemouth game last season.
yeah,
And got a last minute goal there, and that was good.
so yeah, I think, and then I captained Salah because I thought, oh, he might get something. I know he got took off early, so for me that means they're trying to manage his minutes. So I think he'll definitely start on the weekend. I'm not captaining him though. But yeah, we'll go to you, Matt. How was your week?
It's not been much better. I don't know if Son scored tonight. I haven't seen the scores.
It was
No, he has not. For Spurs, it was Romero.
He
Scarf.
scored, did he? Who got the assist? Does anyone know?
I don't think it was Son.
I'm not sure. I don't think it was Son.
So my team is well and truly stuck in the mud. Yep. So I had Flecken in goal. Got back three of Colwell, Gabriel, and it was Simicas, but it looks like it's Lascelles coming off the bench.
Who did Brentford play?
They had Brighton, didn't they? So they lost.
They lost 2-1.
Yeah. Yep. And then I had a midfield of Mo was my captain. Saka, Son. Who else did I have? Palmer and Mbumo. So I was quite glad when Mbumo scored, got the pen, and then he obviously got injured, took off with an ankle injury.
Apparently he's out for a while as well. Just to
is he?
No.
So it's a serious one then.
Thomas Frank spoke today, or someone to do with Brentford did, and said that it's not great. So
another big injury together with Rico Henry.
Yeah,
that's going to hurt him. That is.
Yeah, like you think that's the bulk of their team, isn't it? Rico, Brian, Tony. Like you couldn't ask for three bigger players. Like no offense, Newcastle fans and especially Nick's moaning about their injuries. When I think that's excuses for me. But Brentford, they've not got the liberty of them squad, so that's going to really, really hurt them.
Yeah.
And and if he's out for a few weeks, they're without him till at least February because he'll go to AFCON. And I think that's what people forget. Like Tomiyasu's injured for us, which is going to be a big miss for us, but we won't see it until February because of the Asia Cup.
Yeah, true. And Boomer, yeah, I saw on the FPL website that he was 75% chance of playing. So obviously Thomas Frank's come out today, and
I'm sure
it's
I
a
read
bad one.
that. I'm sure I've read it somewhere. He definitely said that it wasn't what they was hoping. So, and I know he's definitely. So they were saying it was more. I suppose when they say, "Oh, it's more weeks and days," that's when you've got to start worrying.
The one that's kind of made me feel a little bit like, okay, do you kind of trust your gut or do you go with the information? Is Ollie Watkins? Look what happened to him last week.
Right,
And it was the Bournemouth game. Yep, he was on both our benches. Look what happened. So, and he was more of a orange instead of a yellow or a red. So, but yep, I had my two up front was who did I have? I had Watkins and Darwin this week.
He got him on. Twat Darwin. What idiot kicks the ball away when he comes on and then sets it up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that's 1 point, you know what I mean? But 1 point helps.
Yeah. Point's a point.
I will come to you, Hugh, but we'll talk about your team briefly. Because I know you've got Ward-Prowse, haven't you? Have you still got Sanchez?
This is what a Chelsea keeper. Yes, I do. I've just checked his points actually.
Oh, mate, lucky boy.
I'm on 39 points at the moment, and I'm quite surprised how the hell he got 11 points. I mean, he made some
penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, he made some great saves, I guess. So but
I'd say saved the penalty is right. Well, it was a decent save. But
yeah,
I always like seeing Bruno miss. It's funny.
That's always good. Yes, I'm on 39 points so far, so not the best score.
And 11 of them from Sanchez.
But, 11 of them from Sanchez, 10 from Saka. So yeah, and the others are
Saka.
Captain Saka was captained, and the others are very much single figures. James Ward-Prowse is on 7. I've got 2 zeros in Matt Cash and Simicast.
Who's on your bench?
My bench is currently Onana, Udogi or Udogi, however you pronounce him, Simicast, and Luis Diaz.
Okay, so don't really matter. So I've got an honest question to ask you. I have played
my bench boost though, so you know.
An honest question: did you captain Saka because you think he's a great player, or 2 because of your hatred of Luton?
A bit of both.
All right.
To be fair, I did say Luton weren't going to be easy. Now I didn't think it was going to be what it was, but we'll get to it tomorrow.
I said it on the show, didn't I, earlier in the week, and everyone was like, "No, no."
I didn't think it was going to be 4-3, but
no, I didn't plan for Declan Rice to score another last-minute winner. Declan, as we call him now.
I did it because of that, but also, I was like, I'm not capping Liverpool players just because they're playing Sheffield United. I just didn't think it was going to be,
See, for me, I was kind of torn because I'll come to my reasoning why I think I've slacked off in a minute, because it'd be interesting to see what Matt thinks about it, because I think we both do similar things. But yeah, I thought Salah against Sheffield United, and then I was planning on Salah playing at Sheffield United with the manager before, not Chris Wilder.
Yeah, Hickenbottom.
As soon as that happened, I was like, it's probably just going to be like a 1 or 2-0, isn't it? Something like that. So, and I'll be honest, I think some people have been lucky, very, very lucky these last couple of game weeks. It sounds like I'm really having a go at Nick tonight, but he's just the first person I can think of. Like, he's got Trent, and he's had Trent for absolute ages. And it's only recently that Trent has been delivering, but I still don't think he's worth it. Like, 8 million
not at that price tag.
No, like when he does.
You've only had 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Trent this week and last weekend.
The whole season. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like Trippier, like he's been disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've been a bit he's a booking away, so I'm hoping he didn't get booked today. he's booking away from a suspension. So it's I don't know what you guys think. I think when you have bad weeks, you look at your team and think, right, I could change that, and I think you just got to step back and think. I was listening to FPL Raptor, and he says the mental health it gives you. You could look at your team and want to absolutely rip it apart, and part of me wants to do that, but it's just not gonna. It's the way the fixtures fall as well. With the top teams playing each other, generally you're gonna have top team players. Like if you've
Yeah.
got Arsenal, Liverpool, mate, you ain't getting much point. You ain't getting many points that weekend.
No.
If unless you can like, where I think I'm lucky, I think I can sort of phase it out. Like so, I've got Gabriel and Saliba. Gabriel's going to be going, so then I'd only have Saliba and Saka from Arsenal, and Nunes is going to go at some point. So I'd only have, and I think Simicast might go. To be honest. Because if he's getting picked one week and then not the next, I can't be dealing with that. So it's just like working out who to pick. But we'll go on to game week 16.
Sorry, mate. Just to say, you said about FPL Raptor.
Yeah.
He's totally right. I've seen that before, and you have a bad game week. So for me, I've had three bad game weeks. My rank's totally slid all the way down. So yeah, been distracted with moving house, and then it's just been pretty full on. So to be honest, I've played the fixtures rather than the players in form. And some weeks you can kind of look at it and go, "What's happened?" Like you said, and think, "Well, I can tear it apart." Then other weeks it can go the other way. So
I've done the same, mate. Like I'll tell you where my issue is before we move on. I've watched too many videos. I've not watched too many videos. I've watched them and took too many people's advice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, double up on Arsenal, best defense. Like you guys know me, I never double up on any team defensively, and I didn't before.
I'd never do that. Until this season, I've not done it.
It worked absolutely perfect for me. And then what did I do? Doubled up on Gabriel and Saliba. Bang! This all fell apart. So, no, I need to sort it out. Like Dubravka only come in. I think that was just obvious to bring Dubravka in. Like, one thing I will say tonight, what's made things a lot very, very interesting, is Ariola got dropped, guys.
Oh,
so,
did he?
Yeah, I nearly called him the other name. Fabianski. Fabianski played. So obviously, Hubert, if you could just keep an eye on that score, just let us know if anything changes.
I will do it. No goals so far.
Good. Stay that way. Well, that you think that's 1 point out of 15? Spurs potentially, but they'll probably score now or score 2 goals and win. But yeah, Ariola did get dropped for I can't say his name properly. Fabianski. So that would be something to watch, and they have got Fulham away at the weekend. I don't know if it's because of all the fixtures coming up, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is dropped. To be honest, he's what 1 clean sheet in about 8 or 9. It's not been great from him, is it?
Imagine those people who's got Matt Turner and Ariola, the rotating keepers that will now won't rotate.
Yeah, so that's why I got Dubravka, because I thought, oh, he'll rotate with Ariola, because I thought I'd rather have Ariola away at Fulham than Dubravka away at Spurs.
That's what Sam was saying on the FPL pod. They rotate perfectly.
They don't if you don't play.
No, that's it.
So yeah, we'll move on game week 16. I think it's that one, isn't it? Is it 16? 15? 16?
Is it 15, isn't it?
Oh, 15.
I struggle to know my own name at the moment.
I think it's 6. Oh, no, it's the game week of Haaland versus Luton. That's all I know. We'll do what we normally do, like with the differentials, because I might need your guys' help with that, because and who to bring in and all that stuff, and what we're going to be doing this week. Obviously, we're still in a game week, So deadline is
Just to
Saturday.
clarify, it is going to be game week 16.
Right, thank you. I thought it was. It's Saturday deadline, isn't it? Is it 11:30? Yeah, it must be
11 o'clock on Saturday.
11. Yeah, because Liverpool's the early game, aren't they?
Again. Yep, again.
Good. Home Palace.
Sour grapes. Always 12:30.
No, I don't mind, mate. I just want you to drop points before we have to play you in.
Well, yeah.
We've got a couple of games.
Let's hope them referees blow the whistles when they're supposed to, eh?
That's what we've got VARs for, mate.
We're going to go there, didn't we?
So I'll start with you, Hubert. Obviously, you've been playing most of the season. Is there any differentials or main people you can think of to bring in this week?
When it
People on your watch list?
I don't really have a differential, to be honest, at the moment. I kind of have a lot of my team's kind of expected players you would kind of think would work in the team, sort of thing. Your Watkinses, your Haalands, Alvarez's, and all that. James Ward-Prowse, because of how rarely he does anything. When he does something, it does actually become a differential. But outside of that, I wouldn't say I've got differentials in my team, to be honest.
I'll tell you, the Alvarez conversation's a really interesting one. Because I've heard, I'd say not a lot of Man City fans, because I don't know any, but there's been a lot of talk that they've been saying they want Alvarez dropped, but because
he's dropping off a cliff quality-wise, to be honest with you. He's not done much for the last few. He got an assist last week, but apart from that, he's not done much. But then again, City have been crap over the last 4 games. They picked up, 3 points out of the available 12?
Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it?
I could have been to a nicer team, mate.
Well, I don't know. It could be happening to a nicer team any time soon. But I think it's really hard to.
Well. Full time West Ham, Tottenham 1, West Ham 2, full time score.
I love it. That's the way we play, mate. Right, enjoy it, and so 1 point. That is 1 point out of a possible 12. No, 1 point out. Is it 12 or 15? Actually, it might be.
I believe it's 12. If
you cannot hear the glee in my voice as the presenter at all.
Newcastle smile on your face.
Battered. Yeah. Oh, that's cheered me up tonight. Thank you. So yeah, the Alvarez thing is really interesting. Like, I try not to compare it to the Man City game because they got absolutely walloped last night. Only had 2 shots in 11 minutes, and they had the first 2 shots they had in the 11th minute, and then nothing else. I think they had an expected goal from them 0. That never happens, not for City. So I think they've got Luton, and I think that's the only time you have to kind of play that fixture.
Well, yes, although I'd say keep in mind what Luton are like at home. I mean, I know they're playing Man City, but City have not been the City of previous, and Luton are having a go at the big teams at home. So,
But what I would say is that if you've got attackers from Man City, keep them. Don't bring in City defenders. Just don't. And there's no point for me now if you haven't got a City player now, unless you've built yourself up to do it, then don't, because you've got a blank in a couple of weeks. So, and there's no point trying to rip your team apart. I brought Haaland in last week on a -4, and it kind of worked, but obviously did nothing yesterday. But when I see all these other positions that I thought I could do with money there, and there, I could probably do without him. But there's other ways I can do that. So I'll go quickly on my differential. My differential probably, I don't even know if he is a differential now, is Hwang at Wolves. He's just plucking away, isn't he, with the points, and even a Wolves defender, someone like a Craig Dawson or someone like that.
Max Kilman.
Yeah, they're quite cheap, and the points are ticking over. main player I'd bring in, like someone. This is really hard to be honest because there isn't. Like Arsenal got Villa, so if you haven't got a Saka, Watkins, or someone like that, then maybe there. But no, I can't. Jordan Pickford, there you go. Just to wind that up.
Yeah,
Another clean sheet for Pickford tonight, mate.
I know. So
I'm
let's
actually
move on.
I'm actually tempted to bring Pickford in. Just like going backwards.
It is. Yeah, it's like running it back. Yeah. Do you know what? So for me, the two differentials I can just spring to mind. I'm thinking Ethan Pinnock of Brentford. They got
Yeah.
Sheffield United. I think they're away to Sheffield United at the weekend.
I can see
And then-
Sheffield winning that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
Be
know.
mindful with teams playing Sheffield United because like we said, someone trapped with triple captain Salah because that Salah's team was playing Sheffield United, and look what happened. So I'd say be mindful.
I can just see him getting a result. It's Wilder, isn't it? Like it's not going to be. I know it's been really quick, but I don't. I can at least see him scoring. Like, I don't think they're gonna. You don't think you'll see Brentford smash them?
I think
Like,
it'd be 1-0 Brentford myself. That's what I think will happen. I think new manager bounce, and they didn't bounce very far. So, yeah. And I think the second one's got to be Jeremy Doku.
I did watch the highlights quickly of your game against them.
Yeah.
I think if they had someone who was better up front, then you just could have struggled, to be honest.
I think Archer was unlucky not to score, all bias aside. He could have had a couple.
There was Liverpool fans I heard on the radio saying that if we were playing someone better, we could have been in a bit of trouble. They're not saying they'll lose or nothing, but so that's something to consider.
McAtee, he had a good shot as well. So he was unlucky.
It's hard when your confidence is that low, like because they're probably the worst team like one of the worst teams in Premier League history, aren't they, at the minute?
Yep, definitely.
Doku's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't know what percentage is for him, but I think he's definitely a differential. I think he could probably. I don't even know if he's still fit. I think he went off injured, didn't he?
No, he's fit, I think.
So he could be a replacement for Mbumo, depending on how long he's out. But I think there's so many options. You could just look across the board, couldn't you? I mean, Anthony Gordon, he's been looking like a good shout as well.
See, for me, Anthony Gordon's only a good shout if they're playing at home. So I heard this. He has returned in every single home game this season, and he hasn't returned in one away game.
Yeah.
And they played away tonight. Did he return? No. So there is something in that. Like, I know that will change, but that is some weird stat, isn't it? Like,
yeah. I think every player plays better when they're at home, though, don't they? I mean, if you're going to captain someone, you always want to captain a player at home. I think.
Yeah, I think most of my teams are away from home.
Yeah, mine was last week, but
yeah,
those are my two, Pinnock and Doku.
Cool. So we'll quickly go into, and if you guys want to talk about something else, just tell me as well. But we'll go into what we're gonna do what our teams will be like at the moment, because obviously I know it can change in the next day or two. So my team is gonna look very, very weird, to be honest. So it was Areola in goal. So I'll keep him now because we don't play. Dubravka just comes in. And then it's going to be Trippier, Saliba, Simicast just on the gamble. This is where it gets very interesting. Salah, Saka, and I know this will probably bite me on the arse. Garnacho, and Garnacho, potentially with not DRB, Palmer, with Nunes, Haaland, and Watkins with Haaland as captain. A bench of Dubravka, Gabriel. I feel like I've forgotten someone. Gabriel, Taylor, and there was someone else, but I can't think who the other person is. But I ain't really got many options because Arsenal are playing Villa and Tottenham have got Newcastle. So like most of my players are all tied up in that. So yeah, that's I'm not very confident about this weekend. It could be another 30 points one. What's your team, Matt?
Yeah, well, Hubert, who have Chelsea got the weekend?
We have Everton,
Everton.
which after today's game, I'm not sure what will happen.
Well, you can't beat Man United. So.
Is it at home or is it away?
It's at Goodison.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I might drop out.
Yeah, see, now that was changing it for me. Like you said, Newcastle, they got Tottenham, so Lascelles. I don't know whether about putting him in or not. Obviously, Gabriel might go down to the bench because obviously he's playing Villa. So that leaves the defence of, I'm going to go with Simicast, Pinnock, and probably Colwell with Flecken in goal.
See, I was tempted to Charlie Taylor away at Brighton.
Yeah.
Is Gabriel away at Villa or Charlie Taylor away at Brighton? That's my conundrum. I never thought I'd be having that conversation, but
I'm thinking of a -4 as well this week.
see,
Again.
I'm what I'm planning to do, and it works like a bit of a mini wild card. I rolled a transfer this week. I have 2 next week, and then I can do 3 transfers and -4 it, which I don't want to really do, but then I feel like I might have to.
Yeah.
So what my idea is, I don't mind sharing it with people, is probably looking like Simicast. It sounds like I'm getting rid of all the Liverpool players, but I'm not. I'll get rid of 2 of them, but just because I feel like I have to. Simicast, Darwin can go, and I'll drop down. Have just a bench player as my third striker, which either becomes Raul Jimenez or Semenyo from Bournemouth, who got an assist last week, and he's only 4.7. So that gives me like money that I can, if I wanted to, I could potentially change Diaby into a £7 or £8 million player, or put that on to Garnacho. So, but I feel like for me, Diaby might have to go soon because he just keeps starting on the bench and coming on. That's not good for me.
Yeah.
But I think this is where people lose it. I don't know if it'll come to you for the issue, but about where, and it is right what they say. You can't win the league in FPL at the start, but you can definitely lose it. It's around that Christmas break.
It's because the fixtures are so thick and fast.
Oh, yeah.
And then teams rotate.
Anything could happen with the rotations as well. That's where you really, how often do you see kind of FPL managers getting salty because one manager rotated the entire team because they play another team in 3 days' time?
This sounds like you've seen my team. Mate, with my headspace for this, it's probably a good thing that they only have 1 wild card before Christmas. Like, I was ready this morning. I was ready to get rid of them all. Like, that's how I was like. But
go on, do it. Take a -12.
Yeah, mate, I'd probably still be above you.
Oh yes, probably.
No,
the way my team's going at the moment, straight off a cliff.
Mate, I've dropped well down. I've gone like to 5th. I'm that bad. I'm only like 10 points ahead of my brother who knows nothing. But I'm not. We were having this conversation. Like, people lead, and I'd feel pressure if I was leading. But like, if say Nick's top of our league at the moment, he could have a 50 or 60 point lead. I'm not worried because that can be swollen up. Swallowed up. Sorry, like in 2-3 game weeks.
Yeah.
Or that can be even done in 1. Like, I'm not. Like, if you had a very successful game week and your triple captain or something come up, not even that. Like,
well, think about it. If you have a 65-point week and someone has a 30-point week that you're chasing,
cutting it down. Well, I remember at the start of the season, I think I don't know if you remember, Matt, when I had that 86 point weekend and everyone was like on 40 or 50.
Yep, I do.
Like,
Yeah.
and so it can be so eaten up so quickly. So I'm not as worried. But with me, I like to have a team that feels right in my head. And at the minute, there's probably about 4 or 5 players it doesn't feel right about. And
See, that's what happened though. It did,
every
didn't it?
player I've got rid of has
Yeah.
returned. So maybe
Yep.
that's. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. I'm not
Do you
going to
think that was
lie.
the plan though?
Yeah,
That was the
I
plan,
can't.
wasn't it? I mean, go on.
I was saying I can't wait for the Christmas period to be over, and that sounds really miserable of me. But FPL wise, I just can't wait for it to be over.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's the plan, though, wasn't it? I think for both of us when we took Haaland out was you've got a balanced squad, and then it worked for a few weeks, and obviously he done the business. So it was more panic. Do you get him back in? So for me, my free transfer this week is getting Haaland back in as well. Obviously against Luton, bit of a no-brainer. Hopefully, the way things are going. Thinking right fixtures, it's just shot me in the foot the past 3 weeks. So hopefully it works out. But I'm still thinking of taking a -4 as well. And if the Mbumo injury. So I don't know. Do I take it? Do I take the -4? Roll it.
The thing I would say to you is you're going to end up with 4 players that ain't playing in game week 18 if you keep him.
Yeah.
Because you've got no Brentford and no City. Phone's going mad. Yeah, you'd say you'd have no, and that's why I'm trying to phase it down. And I know it's not practical that you have as least players playing against each other as possible. I know that doesn't work all the time. But it's like the Villa game. If I'm just got Saliba, Saka, Diaby, and Watkins, part of me is wanting a high scoring game.
Yep.
With Saliba getting a goal or something. But as an Arsenal fan, I'll take a 2-1 now. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, I think what the issue I fell into, I watched too many videos and I think I just go back to go to set and it just hasn't worked. Like I was happy with Saka, Salah, Diaby. That was my 3. They've worked well, and then Diaby keep getting dropped and brought on. That's not really helped me. And the decline of Matty Cash, having to get rid of him, that's kind of forced me into something. So, that's what I'm saying with the Christmas period. Like you just don't know who's going to play, and at least in January you'll know what we're going. Like people are going to have nightmares, mate. Like we're going to have no Salah. There's going to be no Song. So there'll be a very good look. Like teams looking very very different. So
yeah, that's
I'm
it.
trying not to pick, and not in a racial way, but I'm trying not to pick any African or Asian players because I don't want to be stuck.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's a case of. I think I've got 3 of them at the moment. So there's Mo, and Mbumo, and Son. Yeah. So yeah, and those 3 will have to come out. So
and the only one I've got is Salah, and you get rid of. See, what my thing with Salah is, that's a lot of money just to have sitting on your bench for weeks.
Yeah.
So I think
and he's in an area where you can miss a lot of points.
Yeah, and yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to probably do. Like I can't. I'm gonna have to get rid of him, and then try and bring him back. I just can't. I'd hate myself thinking, oh my god, I've got 12.5 million just sitting on the bench for weeks and weeks and weeks. Because like the team he's playing for, you'd expect them to go a bit further as well.
Yeah, I just don't think you can.
It's practicality for me. It's just not, and it's like you say, the teams that are in form and this was a brilliant point that someone made on X earlier. The top teams are playing each other, So they haven't got that run of early easy games. So you go back through the season, Arsenal had decent games, City had decent games, or Liverpool, like even Liverpool. Like I know, unless you have Van Dijk or Trent, you ain't really. It didn't really matter about the game yesterday, FPL wise. But Villa, like the playing Man City, like so, Matty Cash was getting a lot of points for people, but now he's come off of it. So you've got to try and find that Cash replacement. And anyone can beat anyone around Christmas. I don't care what anyone says. Like, who would have thought Luton scored 3 at Arsenal? Team who's defensive. Well, I thought we were the best defence in the league at one stage. I know they got assists from David Raya, but there's just like you just wouldn't. Like Arsenal's fixtures change Boxing Day after Boxing Day. We've got West Ham at home. If you've got Saka at box on that game, that's a captaincy pick potentially for me.
Yep, definitely.
So we'll go on. Hubert, you ain't done your team, have you? And yeah, I don't think you.
No, I've not actually. But for me, you've mentioned what I was tempted to do, and that's taking out Diaby and Matty Cash for the fact that both of them, in various ways, have become disappointing, and there are other players in their places that can do something. So for me, these are the players I will be replacing, and I think I do have 2 free transfers because I've been stocking them up a bit. So they might be leaving my team, to be honest.
Quick fire one. So if you were to get rid of DRB, who would you replace him with? Matt, you go first, and we'll come to you, Hubert.
So if I was getting rid of Diaby, I know we've already talked about him with Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer's just got to be the one to go for. The Chelsea fixtures look pretty good. If not, Anthony Gordon. Those are the 2 that just stand out. Or Jeremy Doku, just 3. The only thing that spring to mind.
Hubert?
I think it depends how much money you've got left when you take Diaby out of your team. I'd go Cole Palmer. I'd definitely go Gordon now. I did have him in my team and then he got suspended. And so I'm very tempted to bring him back in as well. But yeah, it's either Gordon for me or Cole Palmer. Doku, I don't know, Man City players, they're going through a rough patch, but I don't know, they are playing Luton, so...
And aren't they kind of playing... Aren't they playing teams that aren't... let's put it this way, teams that are a little bit more easier?
Well, you would think so, but then look at this. I thought Villa would beat City, so... I always say be careful when you say they're playing a team that's easier.
Mind you, Villa, they've been in good form though, haven't they? They've been no mugs this season.
I think not many people expected them to get a result against Manchester City.
Yeah, I think people disrespect Luton a bit, if I'm honest.
I think Luton at home are a very different animal to Luton away.
Luton have got a point against Liverpool. Sorry, Matt, but they could have won.
No, they did.
They just lost to Tottenham. They just lost to United, which
just lost to Arsenal,
and they've just lost to Arsenal. Like they've not been battered.
No, they haven't.
So I don't know. Like I could see another. I hope not, but I could see another high-scoring game. Luton, Man City, like both teams, because Man City can't defend. Like Vardy, I'd be asking for a refund. They don't look, and then I know they've got Rodri back, but without Rodri, they look atrocious. Like it's mad how one player. I can get the sentiment. I can understand because I think if we didn't have Declan or Saliba, we'd probably be a bit like that. But person I was going to go for, I'll go for differential and a higher person. If you have the money, and I know Arsenal's fixtures are not great, but Martin Odegaard made that even in the games like he's either getting a goal or an assist, so you're getting your money. I know he's probably around the Son sort of price, so if you could afford him, I don't mind doing a double Arsenal attack, Saka and Odegaard. I think you know what you're going to get with them.
Yeah, I think Odegaard's about 8.5 though, isn't he? Son's is he 9.5?
Okay, so yes, he's not.
So could be a better a better
See,
player.
if I do what I said I was going to do, DRB could become Odegaard for me. So we'll see. I'll work that one out the other time. And the cheaper one, I would probably say if you haven't got Palmer, yeah, or Gordon, but if you have already got them, now West Ham have, I don't know. Kudos has been one I've been watching at 6.5. And he's got a couple of goals or an assist recently, so that's what I mean, though, guys. There ain't nothing. There ain't anyone in any positions jumping out. Like I was watching FPL Raptor saying, this is the only time that you look and see the defenders. You don't want any defender, like none, like unless it's Arnold. At the minute, there's no one else you want.
Yeah.
So,
But then going back to the Kudus point, see, he would have been one that I'd have gone on right from the beginning. Because, maybe not right from the beginning, but obviously he started to kick in. I don't think any player has racked up as many points as him from the past 3-4 weeks. No. But then again, you look at that AFCON coming up, he's going to go as well. So it's another player out of your team. So if you had like me, where you got 3, but then if you had him in as well, you've got to replace near enough your whole midfield.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Obviously, we'll do. If not, we'll do in and bin. So,
I think that's it, mate, for me. Yeah.
Hubert?
No, all good for me.
Cool. We'll do in and bin then. I'm tempted to bin my old team. So,
stay patient, mate. I think that's the key. Patience.
I know what it is. It happened last season. I got stuck in the 800s. Last season, I got stuck. I was there for ages. I just need to get out of the 800s.
Where are you at the moment? Do you know?
Right, 870. I think I'll probably be 878. So by
500,000 something at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's well gone down.
Yeah, I just need to. Yeah, I need to move on. Hopefully, I just need players to perform for me. And when your top players don't, the ones who normally get your points don't do it, it burns you.
Yeah.
So, right. Well, so we'll end on in and bin. So I'll go first for once. So bin. I'm not saying the RB in that because I am not looking like an idiot on here. And when he does really well and probably scores and helps Villa beat us on Saturdays, I'm not saying that because that will jinx it. Not that I'm superstitious or anything. So I would probably. Would I been? If you haven't been, I'd actually been Son. I know that sounds a bit crazy. And just not because of the Tottenham Association. I just think there's other people that would help you utilize your squad better. Just coming off of him a bit. They've got Newcastle, so obviously you'd think there might be goals there. Son are probably going to score a hat trick now, but I know they lost 3-0 to Everton, but surely they're not going to be that defensively bad again. You wouldn't have thought, and that's a bad result. Losing at home to West Ham, because that was at Tottenham. That's a bad result, whatever anyone says. So yeah, I'd probably say get rid of Son and bring in. I'm gonna go for Raul Jimenez.
He's the one I said to you earlier, isn't it? You got to watch him now.
He scored 2 goals at the weekend. No, he didn't. He scored 2 goals yesterday. It's weird.
I was pleased for him, though. Pleased for him. After a serious injury, it's good to see him get a couple of goals.
Yeah, I thought, I'm not going to lie, I thought he was finished, mate, to be honest. But
yeah,
if he can start scoring a goal, he ain't no Mitrovic. I think everyone appreciates that. But yeah.
But he's 5.2 in the game, and so he's definitely worth a shout.
Yeah, so, and if he's your third striker, you have that luxury, don't you?
Yep. Yeah.
Do
you know what?
If you have the luxury, I have Darwin, who's 7.5 million, Haaland is 14. Ollie Watkins is 8 point whatever. If I had something like a Jimenez, that gives me 2.5, like near on 2.5 million to put somewhere else.
Yeah,
So
another interesting one I think is Julian Laron. He was saying on the FPL pod.
I was gonna say, how
Burnley
much is he
striker
on there?
Amadou. I can't pronounce his name. I think he's
I thought,
Swiss.
I thought you meant Julian Laron. I thought, right, well, how much is he on there?
Yeah, he'd be got to be 12 mil. Yeah. He's brilliant. I love him. Yeah, so that might have been a good shout, but I
Yeah,
cannot pronounce his name.
I know the one you mean. They signed him from Basel, didn't they?
Yeah. He played well the other night as well. So,
Yeah,
at the weekend.
I think Semenyo is one as well. I think people don't look at him they look at it and see this Bournemouth thing. Oh no, 4.7 for a player who's playing regularly week in week out and has had 3 or 4 returns this season already. That's it's a cheeky one. Like, and you, if you play 4-4-2 that you probably would, or 3-5-2, you're not really going to be using that third strike, are you? But then
No.
you don't really want to get into having a really crap bench. So that would be the thing. So yeah, that's what I think anyway. Matt, who would you go for?
For the for me, it's going to be Erling Haaland. So I think it's just that fixture, the Luton fixture, and I've spent long enough without him in the team, or not in the team. So he's coming back in for me. I think he's a good shout. Stating the obvious, but a bin. I just can't think of a bin. Maybe Areola, considering he's got a drop tonight now, so maybe Areola. And with Dubravka coming in as a keeper, he's going to start. I think the keepers are looking pretty good at the moment. Obviously, Dubravka is not from tonight, but Kelleher kept a clean sheet last night. I think he was 3.9, might have gone to 4 now. But then Alisson's coming back in a couple of weeks, so that's a short-term one.
Leno got his feet, didn't he? Like I've been banning the Leno drum for ages. I just there's got to be a way to get him in. To be honest,
he's still 4.7 though, Leno.
Yeah.
Saw that earlier today, so he's still, a good shout. Still for that price, definitely.
Even Sanchez, like I know he saved the penalty. I think the goalkeepers for me, you just have to look and see. I wouldn't even look at the fixtures, but if they say like, to be honest, Dubravka was on for a 9-pointer today. Because he got me, well, he did. I did have 3 points for him when it was only 1-0, so I don't know if that's gone down where he's conceded 3. But yeah, I don't think we're actually we're doing all right with the goalkeepers because there's a few you can go for, and then we have got the lovely January transfer window coming up, which could be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Hubert, who would you go for? Finish up on?
Bring in Anthony Gordon. I mentioned this earlier in the show, and take out Diaby. I'm sorry to say that, but Diaby's had it for me.
Please don't jinx it. So one thing I will say, we said about people having leads. I just looked. So Nick has got quite a bit of a lead, but one player he hasn't got.
It's the big man.
Ending it on the show. Can Haaland close the golden goal FPL top of the table? Cheers for listening, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good week.